gun prices are crashing. Not by a little. We're talking about rifles that sold for over $4,000 3 years ago, sitting in gun cases right now for under $3,000. Pistols that once had 6-month wait lists are showing up in used cases for less than $500. The panic is over. The warehouses are full. And the guns that got famous during the rush are now paying the price. Here are 10 guns nobody expected to be this cheap. Number 10. Taurus G2C. The Taurus G2C is a compact 9mm that never pretended to be a luxury gun. It was always aimed at the budget buyer who needed something reliable without spending a lot. During the panic buying years, that made it one of the fastest moving handguns in the country. It didn't matter what it was or what it lacked. If it was in stock and it was cheap, people bought it. Those days are done. The average new G2C now sits at $192. Used ones are moving for around $134. Those are not estimates. Those are actual tracked market numbers from the past 12 months, and both figures have been falling the entire year. A working 9mm pistol with two 12-round magazines going for $134 used sounds like something out of a pawn shop clearance bin. But that is the current state of the G2C. The problem is competition. When people were scared and buying anything in stock, the G2C had no real opposition at its price point. Now it does. The Taurus GX4 replaced it as the smart budget buy with a better feature set. The PSA Dagger offers a Glock-compatible platform at a similar price with an optic-ready slide. Budget buyers now have choices, and they are making them. The G2C still works. It feeds. It fires. For someone who needs an inexpensive 9mm and nothing more, it is a real deal right now. But good enough and cheap stopped being enough to hold the old price when the shelves stopped being empty. This is only number 10. The drops get much steeper from here. The next gun on this list was once a staple in almost every gun owner's pocket, and it just lost half its value. Number 9. Ruger LCP. The Ruger LCP is a pocket gun in the truest sense. It weighs barely 9 ounces unloaded. It's thin enough to disappear in a front jeans pocket. Chambered in .380 ACP with a 6-round magazine, it became the most popular pocket pistol in America not long after it launched in 2008. During the panic years, finding one in stock was nearly impossible. Now it is selling for around $200. That is a 50% drop from where it once sat. The LCP lost its spot to a generation of micro-compact 9mm pistols that changed what buyers expected from a small gun. The Sig Sauer P365 proved that you could carry a gun barely bigger than an LCP and still get 10 rounds of 9mm. Then came the Springfield Hellcat. Then the Taurus GX4. All of these guns fit in roughly the same space as the LCP, fired a more powerful round, and offered double the capacity. When you can get twice the firepower for the same money in the same size package, the argument for a 6-round .380 is a hard one to win. The math is not in the LCP's favor. It still has real advantages. It is lighter than almost any 9mm micro-compact on the market. For buyers who want the flattest and lightest option and don't mind trading rounds for size, The LCP at $200 is still a solid carry choice. But at $200, the conversation has completely changed from what it was 3 years ago. The next gun on this list used to be one of the most respected duty pistols in America. It had a track record that ran through police departments across the country. Now, it is lucky to move for $300. Number 8. Springfield Armory XD, Standard. When the Springfield Armory XD arrived in the U.S. in 2002, it was treated as a serious step forward in polymer pistol design. Built by HS Product in Croatia, it came with features that weren't common at the time. A grip safety, a loaded chamber indicator, a striker status indicator. Police departments adopted it. Civilians trusted it. For years, a used XD in solid condition could move for $400 without much negotiation. That number is now $150 to $300. The full market range for a standard Springfield XD today, from rough shape all the way to near mint condition, is $150 to $300. That spread tells you everything about where this gun currently stands. Springfield moved past it. The XDM Elite arrived with an optic-ready slide, an improved trigger, and modern ergonomics. Then the Hellcat showed up with micro-compact size and more capacity than most full-size guns from a decade ago. Springfield has been running $25 to $75 rebates on its newer guns almost constantly, pushing buyers toward the updated lineup and away from older stock sitting on dealer shelves. The standard XD has no good position in this market. It is not old enough to attract collectors. It is not new enough to compete on features. It just sits in the used case while the guns around it move. The XD still works exactly as it always did. It is dependable, accurate, and built to last. But right now, $300 buys you something newer with features the original XD never had. That is the reality this gun is living in. The next gun on this list has been a trusted home defense tool for over 6 decades. It is one of the most produced firearms in American history, and the price just crashed. Number 7. Mossberg 500. The Mossberg 500 has been in production since 1960. It is the best-selling pump-action shotgun in history. With over 12 million units built, police used it. The U.S. military used it. Hunters have trusted it for generations. If you have ever been inside a gun store, you have seen one on the wall. When the pandemic hit in 2020, the Mossberg 500 was one of the first guns to disappear from shelves. People wanted a reliable, affordable home defense option, and the pump-action shotgun was the simplest answer. Dealers ordered big to keep up. Manufacturers ramped up production to meet the demand. The demand stopped. The production didn't slow down fast enough. Now there is a deep inventory of Mossberg 500s and guns, just like it's sitting in warehouses and on dealer shelves with no buying rush to move them. Used 500s in working condition keep hitting the secondary market every week. From buyers who grabbed one in 2020, put it in a closet, and barely touched it since. Clean, barely fired examples are now competing with brand new dealer stock for the same shrinking pool of buyers. The Mossberg 500 is still one of the most reliable pump-action shotguns ever built. The drop is not a story about quality. It is entirely a story about supply and demand. Too much supply. Not enough pressure pushing prices up. For home defense, hunting, or a range day, with a gun that works every single time, the Mossberg 500 at today's prices is one of the best values in the firearms market. You are not buying a lesser gun. You are buying the same gun at a better time. The next gun on this list was once the best-selling concealed carry pistol in America. Then the company upgraded it, and the original became a deal nobody planned for number 6, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, original 9mm. When Smith & Wesson released the original M&P Shield in 2012, it changed the concealed carry market almost overnight. Slim, light, and chambered in 9mm, it hit the exact sweet spot between a full-size gun and something small enough to carry every single day. It became the top-selling concealed carry pistol in the country. For years, used examples held value well into the $300 range. Then the Shield Plus arrived. The Shield Plus kept the slim profile and the trusted M&P name. But it added a staggered magazine that jumped capacity from 8+1 on the original all the way to 10+1 or 13+1, depending on which magazine you used. Same size, same weight, more rounds. And when stacked with Smith & Wesson's rebate programs, the Shield Plus was landing below $350 at the door. An 8-round gun competing against a 10-round or 13-round gun from the same company is a losing battle. Dealers started cutting prices on original Shield inventory to clear their shelves. The used market followed as owners traded up to the Plus. Here's the thing: the drop doesn't change. The original Shield still does exactly what it was built to do. It is thin, it is accurate, it is reliable. For everyday carry, it delivers. The difference is that you can now buy one used for a price that would have been laughed at 3 years ago. For the buyer who wants a slim 9mm without paying for features they don't need, the original Shield at today's prices is a legitimate deal. The gun did not get worse. The market just moved forward without it. But the next gun on this list is not cheap because of an upgrade. It's cheap because the company behind it no longer exists. Number 5. Hudson H9. Hudson H9 debuted at SHOT Show 2017, and the gun world paid attention. Hudson Manufacturing set out to do something bold. Combine the single-axis trigger feel of a 1911 with striker-fired reliability and a dramatically lower bore axis. Less felt recoil. Faster follow-up shots. Modern dependability inside a classic control layout. The specs backed up every word of the pitch. Stainless steel slide. Aluminum frame. Trigicon HD front sight. VZ G10 grip panels. Hogue G10 backstrap. Chambered in 9mm with 15+1 capacity. New inbox units. Sold for around $1,147. Blue Book values still show $1,200 for a 100% unfired example. Used H9s are now moving below $500. New old stock units are sitting at $614 and still falling. Reliability problems showed up fast after the launch. Subpar manufacturing led to consistent failures in testing and real-world use that did not match the gun's premium price tag. Buyers were being asked to pay more than a Glock for a pistol that could not match Glock's track record. Hudson Manufacturing went bankrupt. The company shut down. Now the H9 is an orphan. no manufacturer support, no parts pipeline, no new magazines in production. Dealers with remaining stock can't hold price because buyers don't want the risk of owning a gun with no backup behind it. The new value fell $86 in a single 12-month window. Number 4. Springfield XDM Original Pre-Elite. The Springfield XDM was the premium version of the XD line. Better trigger, higher capacity, improved ergonomics over the base model. When it launched, it was considered one of the better full-size polymer pistols on the market at its price point. A clean used XDM in 9mm was a $400 gun without much negotiation needed on either side. Then Springfield released the XDM Elite. The Elite kept the XDM name and added everything the original was missing: an optic-ready slide, an improved trigger, a flared magwell, a fiber optic front sight. Springfield backed it with their rebate program, running $50 to $75 off the Elite almost constantly. Buyers were getting more gun for less money than the used original was asking. The original XDM ended up in a market dead zone, too new to attract collectors, too old to compete on the feature list buyers now expect. It couldn't move used stock at the prices sellers wanted, so prices dropped. Springfield's own strategy accelerated it. Every rebate on the Elite pushed buyers away from pre-Elite used stock. Every new announcement reminded the market that the original XDM was a generation behind. For the buyer, this is a real opportunity. The XDM is a well-built pistol with a better-than-average factory trigger and a proven reliability record. The only missing piece is an optic cut. In today's market, that one absent feature is costing sellers real money and saving buyers real money at the same time. Getting undercut by your own manufacturer's upgrade sounds rough. Number 3. Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2. Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 became one of the best-selling AR-15s in America because it found the right combination of price, reputation, and reliability. Chambered in 5.56 NATO with a 16-inch barrel, a Magpul handguard, a cold hammer forged barrel, and Smith & Wesson's lifetime service policy, it was the AR-15 that first-time buyers and experienced shooters alike trusted without second-guessing. During the panic-buying years, finding one in stock was nearly impossible. Used copies were moving above retail price. Now the market looks nothing like that. The AR-15 category took one of the hardest hits in the entire post-pandemic correction. The budget end of the market collapsed so fast that it changed what buyers think a rifle should cost. Palmetto State Armory's PA-15 comes in at $500 new. Anderson Manufacturing builds are cheaper. When brand new budget ARS are available under $500. A used M&P 15 Sport 2 asking anything close to its old price has a hard case to make. Smith & Wesson built the Sport 2 well. The cold hammer forged barrel is a genuine quality advantage over the cheapest budget builds. The lifetime service policy still stands. The trigger, while basic, is consistent. None of that stopped the price from dropping once the market underneath it collapsed. Used Sport 2s in solid condition are now sitting at prices that look nothing like the 2021 market. Buyers are picking them up for less than they cost new during the rush. For anyone who wants a proven, well-made AR-15 from a brand with real support behind it, the M&P 15 Sport 2 right now is a genuine deal. But number 2 is where this list gets serious. It went from a $1,000 MSRP rifle to one of the softest name brand ARs in the used market. And it belongs to one of the most trusted names in American firearms. Number 2, Ruger AR-550 6th Ruger. AR-556 was never a budget gun. It came from one of the most respected American firearms manufacturers and carried a factory MSRP of $1,019. The build quality was real. A cold hammer forged barrel, direct gas impingement operation, forged aluminum receivers with proper M4 feed ramp cuts, a 16.1-inch barrel with a milled gas block. For a long time, used AR-556S in solid condition held value in the $600 to $700 range without much trouble. Today, a used AR-556 in good condition sells for $400 to $605. Street price on new units has fallen to around $607. Well-used examples with high round counts are going for even less than that. One word explains it: saturation. The AR-15 market got flooded. Not with bad guns, with decent guns at prices that made it hard to justify paying more for a used Ruger. PSA's PA-15 starts at wagons $500 new. Anderson builds are cheaper. Entry-level ARs with optic-ready uppers, better handguards, and improved triggers are available brand new at prices that go directly against the used Ruger's asking price. Demand for used AR-556S actually fell over the past 12 months. That is not a minor detail. Number 1. FN SCAR 17s. The FN SCAR 17S has a resume no other gun on this list comes close to. Built by Fabrique Nationale Herstal and adopted by U.S. Special Operations Forces. The civilian 17S fires 7.62 by 51 mm NATO, the same round used by military-designated marksmen. Short-stroke gas piston system, folding stock, monolithic aluminum receiver, ambidextrous controls. Everything on this rifle was built and tested to a military performance standard. New MSRP today, $4,239. During the panic-buying years, used SCAR 17S rifles were trading hands between $4,000 and $5,000. Some examples went higher. Collectors paid above retail just to own one. Supply was tight, wait times were long. The SCAR 17S felt untouchable. Now it doesn't. A used SCAR 17S is sitting between $2,500 and $3,000 today. Over a single 12-month window, the used value dropped more than $213. New condition units fell more than $73 in the same period. The biggest drops are happening on first-generation models, the ones built with the original reciprocating charging handle, rather than the updated non-reciprocating charging handle design. Here is what matters about those first-generation rifles. They have been tested to function reliably past 20,000 rounds. They were built to the same military durability standard as the newer versions. The only reason they are cheaper is because the NRCH model exists. Not because the rifle breaks, not because it fails, because the market moved and supply finally caught up. for a buyer who can read past the secondary market noise and focus on what the rifle actually does. A used first-generation SCAR 17S at $2,500 to $2,700 is one of the most underrated deals in the high-end rifle market right now.